Hey everyone, today I'll show you how my student Martin went from zero to over $450,000 in revenue from Shopify dropship. And remember to watch all the way to the end where I'll show you exactly how you and 10 other people can win the exact same mentoring that helped Martin get to $450,000. You'll get it completely for free as part of the giveaway, and I'll show that at the end of the video. So let's get right into it.
All right, welcome guys to the interview with Martin, the guy who's done 450K in revenue last year, going into this year. Martin, I want you to quickly introduce yourself. Like, who are you? What have you done? And how did you end up where you are now?
Right. Hi, my name is Martin Robinson. From the UK. And like Matthias just mentioned, we did about 452,000 in about 6 months. And this is about to talk about how we did it and everything. So
yeah. All right. So the 400,000 that was with a single product, right?
It was with one single product with a couple of variations of the same product, but yeah, one product still.
All right. Can you kind of walk us through how you made it happen with only one product? Like, how did you make one product do $450,000?
Yeah, sure. I think more importantly, looking at how we did it, and especially the amount we did over those couple of months, is more about the journey of how we got there. Prior to selling this product, we were selling something very similar. And it did okay. Didn't do bad. We were profitable and everything about it. But and there's one thing very important, especially when you selling something through dropshipping, is to make sure that you understand your product and also understand your customers. And as I was going through the comments on Facebook and on these things, I went and I read through a lot of like Reddit threads and posts and look at the comments, and I realized that this product, as it was doing okay, we can actually do better. So I spoke to my agent and everything, and we did a lot of product research, and we actually found something better. And so once we could eliminate that negative comments and perceptions of the product that we were currently selling, we actually managed to put a product in front of the customers that's actually 10 times better. And I think that actually, accumulated to people really, really liking the product and actually buying it.
Yeah, so you actually did, instead of optimizing a product page, you started optimizing and finding a product that didn't have the weaknesses the other one had?
Exactly. It's like an elimination process, because you might think you have the perfect product, but there's always a negative bound to everything. And like you say, eliminating those negative out of that, we actually managed with the great product.
Yeah, because I've seen a few screenshots here and there, and the conversion rate is quite it's really crazy. Like it was 4% or something on average.
Yeah, the conversion rate was great. I think over the period of time, it was close to 5. I think 5% conversion rate.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts.
It's crazy, yeah. But again, it's just it's just again the same. You just put, like I said, sorry, I think you broke up there. It's just again bring the like I say, eliminating what doesn't work and focusing on what actually does work. And through that, then you end up with something that you can actually comfortably. And that's also another thing is I like when I sell products and these things, actually connect with that product and put myself in the consumer shoes and have a look at how I would react to seeing that Facebook post, or how I would like to react with that product. So
it makes perfect sense. So for this, I think I can almost guess it, but what would you say was the biggest factor in this store, this specific product doing as well as it did?
There was a couple of things actually. I think first off, what we did is we focused a lot on, like I just mentioned, is putting ourselves in the consumer shoes and having a look at why would people actually be needing or wanting to have this product, right? Then on the backside of back end of your store, we did a lot of things about optimizing this. We did put a lot of upsells in place. We did a lot of social proof that we had from Facebook comments, Instagram influencers, and these things. And combining all that, and also, like I just mentioned, putting a better product than what we were selling before. It's the same thing, but we just made it 10 times better. And I think that's and also we used the one product store method, the page method. And we just purely focused all energy and stuff on that product.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. When you have more energy put into one thing, you'll end up doing a better job, hopefully.
Correct. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So I remember we talked about it for a while about doing upsells. And I also
Mhm.
remember you were slacking off a bit on it.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how important number one upsells are,
Hmm.
and also your email marketing,
Hmm.
how important that is to a business. And I mean, our average order value. I mean, we were selling this product for, I think, what was it, $16,
Hmm.
right? And our average order value across that month was, I think, like $37. So
Um,
just that our returning customer rate was 4.1, yeah, 4.15%, which is
damn.
great. And that's all contributed just to that email marketing. I mean, talking about retargeting,
Hmm.
newsletter subscribers, offers, deals, all these things that because obviously you accumulate quite a lot of customers that comes to your store. And if you ignore that end of the business, you're literally leaving money on the table.
Yeah. Can we see this like the results of the store for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Let
Share
me
screen.
share my screen with you, could you?
Yeah, yeah. So just to make sure there will always be some people in the comments saying,
Yeah, of
"No, this is
course.
not true."
Tell me when you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Of course, I'll just blur everything
Yeah,
information-wise out.
so
Yeah.
if we have a look, let's go to the dates. So we started selling this on June the 1st. Let's just go
Hmm.
back. So June the 1st I stopped selling this at the end of January.
All right.
January the 31st. Apply. Here we go.
All right. And we can see it's also from the online store, so there's no draft orders. So,
No, no, nothing. Everything is from an online store. Yeah.
and yeah, and I think we covered the the naysayers.
Yeah,
So this is absolutely nuts. Very
yeah.
well
Look,
done.
it's 4.15%. And that's all accredited to obviously having a fantastic customer service in place,
Mhm.
and also, like I just mentioned, um, your marketing and your retargeting.
Mhm.
So it's good. Now, yeah, it's good.
So, if you were to, because I'm curious, if you were to look back, let's say when you started it or halfway through, because I can see there's a dip.
Right,
It's,
yeah, that's a
it's
good. It's good you asked a question. So what
yeah.
happened is you can see here we started off very small. We did 38K a month there, then we went up a little bit,
Mhm.
and then June was okay, August was okay, but you see it started going off. Now this is in that period where we experience, like you will in every, especially when you start to do higher numbers and volume, you're running into payment processor problems, ad account problems, and these things, and that was absolutely fun because this was just before October, so it was going into quarter four.
Mhm.
And that gave me a chance to just, okay, let's dial everything back a little bit. Let's focus on what actually worked. Let's take what we know works, enhance it a little bit, and re strategize it going forward into quarter four. So, yeah, it took a little bit, it took about a month where we only did, yeah, you can see like very little in October. But then,
Mhm.
boom, went straight back up in November, December, and January.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you would have done differently looking back?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. What I would have done is as soon as I say, for instance, about here I knew the product was working. I mean, it was crazy. We had a good ROAS, everything was working, and the next month I just validated it. I would have immediately started buying in bulk and definitely shipping it across,
Mhm.
and even better customer service and shipping times.
Mhm.
But I was just not, I don't know, I hesitated a little bit. And I think that was a bit of a mistake. We could have done better around
Mhm.
here. And also, especially moving forward to quarter four.
Yeah.
But there's always that hesitant little, should I do it? Should I not do it? But that's one of the things I definitely would have done better. And then also speaking with suppliers, I would have definitely seen if we could have private labeled a little bit, packaging, you know, logo
Mhm.
did and stuff like this. That I would have done differently for sure.
Yeah. So, and most customers, if I remember, were from the United States, right?
But yeah, we
Yeah.
targeted the big five countries.
Mhm.
Uh, and obviously with our ads, so it's Facebook strategy and these things, most of the guys came from the States here.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything regarding the ad strategy that you did? You think maybe something unique you did that you want to tell anyone about?
With Facebook ads? Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, I think with dropshipping, a lot of people has a big misconception about what this business model actually is,
Mhm.
right? I've seen it time and time again where people think, okay, let's just find something, throw it on store, open an ads manager account, and just blast it with money and hope something sticks. Yeah, I've seen that over and over again. I think people just need to have a bit of a more concise perspective of what this actually is. And we applied that to the Facebook ads manager. We didn't start off we started off slow. I mean, our ad spend was very, very little. And we just built on that and analyzing the data day by day and seeing how it goes and really paying attention to on that front. And we started off with ABOs. I think it was $10 $15 an ad set. Once we identified winners, we flipped them over into CBOs. And then we just went on analyzing data, for instance, with creatives. We added new creatives, retargeting campaigns, and all these things.
All right. So it's very straightforward.
Very, very straightforward. We did try, I think we split test a couple of things that we discussed. We did split test a few things. With upsells, we added 1 or 2 products for upsells, which worked really well. And also here, a lot of the upsells here is missing. I think we used OCU. I don't know why it's not showing. So that worked very well. And it was very, very, very straightforward. And I think around about here, before when we get up again, we also did some Google ads.
Oh yeah. I think I remember setting them up with you.
Yeah. I remember we sat down, we set up some Google ads, and that worked really, really well too.
Yeah. Can imagine all the retargeting and shopping ads.
Right.
So if you were, if someone were to ask you, how would you do this again? Like someone who's just looking to get into dropshipping, what would you tell them to do?
Like I just mentioned, first of all, you need to have a clear direction of what you want to do with this business model, right? And there's just go simple, just go through the steps, like especially the way that, when we met, exactly what you told me is take your time, find something and test. And then as soon as you see something that works, just again, take it slow in the beginning and don't waste time on unnecessary things.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So just keep it on testing. It's a numbers game.
It pretty much is a numbers game at the moment, but it's also how you apply what you've learned. When I started, I didn't know anything. I come from
I remember.
I come from a hospitality background, and I think the first product that I wanted to test was a glowing bear. Exactly, like I had that misconception about, you can pretty much put anything on a website and you'll make money out of it. It's like people has conception as a cash register or ATM. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And I think also on the on YouTube and stuff, you can have a look. There's so many misinformation about this going around.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can credit to you is you just kind of like clear that air for me and say, okay, listen, just focus on one thing at a time and we'll get there. And that's my biggest advice to anyone.
All right. Now you said you started out not knowing anything. Can you can you talk a bit about like the journey that got you? Let's say, what piqued your interest in dropshipping, and how did you end up going for mentorship with me and really developing this interest and insane skill?
I think like everybody, everyone's always looking for how to be self-efficient to like instead of selling your time for money kind of thing, where you can actually rely on yourself and your own skills to make your own way. And that always intrigued me, and especially working in hospitality where I used to work 6 days a week, like sometimes 8 to 12 hours a day, not spending time with my family, all these things. It was a big motivator of finding something. And then like everyone, I went on Google how to make money online kind of thing. And obviously there was, oh man, it's bad. But I just went through YouTube. I think I watched so many YouTube videos and things like this. And I quickly kind of just started to discern on what is actually real and what's not. And then I came across Camille Sotaras. Camille, he's a YouTuber. And he was talking about, and I actually really liked the way he went about it, his approach to it and everything. And I set up a call. We had a call with him, and he directed me to you. And then I think we had a great call. It was a bit, like I said, I knew nothing about it. And then and it really piqued my interest. And as you can also remember, I was still working at the time. I didn't just quit my job straight away, and so I was still working a lot. So the time factor for me was a bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, March, when this whole thing happened in the world, obviously hospitality completely shut down, which is a blessing in disguise for me, because then I actually had the time to really just focus and put everything I had into it and make it work. And yeah, this is the result of it.
I mean, it sounds great, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, it changed a lot of things for me, and through going through this, like I spoke earlier about the journey, it's all about the journey, going through it. Especially when everything is going good, you're not really going to learn as much. I know it sounds counterproductive, but when you learn how to deal with your ad accounts being down, you gain that knowledge, getting it back. For instance, your payment processes, PayPal, Stripe, all these things. Your product's not working, how to figure out your ads, what to change and it's all about reading your data, for instance, right? Going through that period, I've learned so much that I can happily apply these things without falling into those pitfalls again going forward.
Oh yeah, I actually remember a pitfall that we hit with the first product. That was where we did notice that CJ had given you a variant where they forgot to tell you that an aspect, like a quite important part of the product, was missing.
A massive part.
Exactly. Yeah. So you ended up having to like refund, and like what was $5,000 or something.
Yeah, it's almost $5,500. The thing exactly, like these things, I could have given up and said, okay, listen, you know what, this is nonsense. I'm gonna because what happened is like, we were selling a product that comes with a stand.
Yeah.
And when you import products from CJ, now I did exactly the same, because the one that he gave me that includes the stand, and somehow, somewhere, it got mixed up, and CJ was sending out products without the stand. So when customers get the products, like, hey, this is great, but is the stand coming in a separate order, or and it was like, oh my god. And then we realized, and that's also one of the things actually that got me to spin into this new product, because I was like, you know what, no, we can do this better. So going through times like this just builds character, really, and you just learn so much on how to problem solve in these things.
Yeah, I often I don't know if you heard me say that before, but I often tell people that getting very successful in dropshipping very early is not a blessing. It's more like likely to be a curse, because you haven't had, as you said, the bad experiences. You haven't had to struggle yet. So all of your struggle happens when you're at scale. And these small mistakes that happens when you're testing, they're huge when you're scaling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's better to struggle a little bit in the beginning, and then once you're hardened, you're good to go to scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you have, because you learn, and once you put all these like full safes in place. For instance, one thing is we had with PayPal, where the tracking numbers get uploaded automatically through one of the apps. That helped tremendously, but I didn't know that in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, but with you and everything, we put it together, and that we never had like a massive problem with PayPal. It was more so Stripe, but having that in place is actually comes through learning from your mistakes. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. As for the store,
right?
You no longer own this store, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, so I've decided to, like, obviously, I'm moving forward with something else. And this is still working, by the way, but I've sold the store, and I'm actually helping the buyer with the store, setting everything up, like giving him support through it. And that's another aspect about dropshipping, is that the different avenues that you can take with building something like this. And then now I'm focusing on more private brands and things like this. So but this was the vehicle that got me there.
Yeah. How much would you say that? How big of a change did this store have in your life, for better or worse?
Absolutely massive. Like I said, there was a lot of sleepless nights and headaches. I'm not gonna lie, but if I look back at the last year now, I can honestly say that this has changed my life into a sense where I know that I can be self-sufficient and do this without, going to job from 9 to 5 every day, because that honestly just, for me personally, I can't talk for anybody else, but that personally killed my spirit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
This gives me much more freedom to, knowing that the amount of work that I put into it is going to determine the success of something that I work on.
Mhm.
So, and that drives me every day. So, yeah, I think it made a massive difference in my life. It's not just a financial point of view. I think it's, obviously that helps,
Mhm.
but it's more I can spend our time with my family, for instance.
Yeah.
If I want to, go, well, we can't go anywhere right now, but if we wanted to go, there's nothing that's stopping you from it. And this is so great because you can literally do this anywhere in the world. So
We just need a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection.
and a
You're good to
connection,
go.
and that's it. You're good to go, yeah. With all the experience that you've learned, of course.
Yeah. So, do you have any? So it's kind of a rounding off type question, unless we bump into some more topics. But is there any advice that you'd give to people who are just getting into dropshipping, or maybe struggling a little bit right now and having a hard time seeing success?
Yeah, a couple. I think the biggest thing for me was the perception that I had of this business model. So if someone is wanting to start dropshipping successfully, I think you have to block out like a lot of preconceptions about this. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mentioned it's not just an ATM where you're gonna, come in every day, sit in front of your laptops, work for 30 minutes and expect a good return out of it. You know what I mean? You have to. This is like any business, because this is a legitimate business. A lot of people don't understand. Unfortunately, we had dropshippers before us and things who completely abused the system,
Yeah.
and obviously they gave it kind of like a bad aura, a bad name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this does work. It really
Yeah.
does, especially in the day and age that we're in, with brick and mortar stores failing and closing by the day. Everything is pretty much going online. So the potential here, dropshipping is not going anywhere,
Yeah.
right?
It's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So if you can capitalize on that, learn the skills. That's another important thing, because to be honest with you, before we met, I mean, I bought so many courses.
Yeah.
I think I burned through courses like no tomorrow. And I can honestly tell you, I didn't finish one of them. I didn't go from A to Z in one of them because
Oh.
it was all the same. They all exactly copy paste the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you just do this, and you're great.
Yeah.
I found the most value in these Skype calls that you and I've had. You know what I mean? Where we sit down together and someone is like right next to me. You made me, you made me make mistakes, but that was for my own good. Like selling a damn bear. You know what I mean? You made me understand. Like, okay, that's why that doesn't work. But that was an experience that I had to go through myself. So that's where I found my value. So my advice for anyone is, especially when I start out, find someone, and that's why I can't praise this e-com mentorship enough, because that really turned my life around. Is just to find someone who, first of all, knows what they're talking about. Do your own research. Go in and don't believe every YouTube video with a guy standing in front of his Lamborghini is going to be successful. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. So yeah, it's just do your research, find somebody that you can walk this journey through with, and just be open to ideas. Idea can come from anywhere. This product, I never thought that this product will reach these numbers, honestly.
Yeah, I was very surprised too.
And it's just the way that you put it in front of people. I think that's the biggest skill that you can learn, is how to market to either a broader audience or just a specific audience. And that's where the real skill lies in dropshipping.
So you'd say that the most important thing someone can learn right now, if they're struggling, it would be the basic principles of marketing.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, without marketing, it will just be another website on the web, right?
I agree.
No one will actually know about it. So besides the fact of actually driving traffic to your store, there's so many different avenues and so many different sources that you can use to do that. And I think learning from the most basic and moving your way forward on how to actually do that effectively is going to be one of your biggest benefits moving forward.
Yeah, so anyone can send traffic to a store.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's not hard. If you have like $5-6 to Facebook, you can get clicks. Yeah. The challenge is getting conversions.
That's the thing, yeah. Exactly. That's what I meant by the quality of it. I mean, you have to learn exactly how to do it effectively. Because like you said, I mean, I've seen screenshots of people who's put up $1.2 million, but what was their profit margin?
Yeah, yeah,
2%.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And this number doesn't mean nothing. It's how much you actually made
Mhm.
at the bottom end, and that's what's important.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people don't tell you, especially when you start drop shipping. Okay, listen, you're gonna have to pay X amount for your Shopify store. You're gonna have to pay X amount
yeah,
for your ads. You're gonna have to pay this for, if you get to this for VA, or what I mean. There's so many costs or hidden
yeah,
costs, I want to say, involved in it that people don't actually realize that
yeah.
it's not just a simple case of buying a domain, opening a Shopify store and running ads to it, because anyone can do that.
Hmm.
How to effectively and profitably run a store that's makes a difference.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Also, the number one like biggest hidden fee that I find are typically the payment processing fees.
Right. Oh yeah.
So if you don't have Shopify payments, they charge you 1.8% plus a
Yep.
few cents on your sale, and
Yep.
both Stripe and PayPal will do exactly the same.
Right. Exactly.
So your margins are a few percentage smaller than you think they are at all times,
Yeah.
and I think that's
And that's when
something.
your break-even ROAS starts climbing and climbing up, and then you're like, okay, wait, hang on.
Exactly. Right. So I'm out of questions. Like you've answered everything times 10. So unless you have anything you want to say to anyone out there,
No.
then
The only thing that I really want to say is just believe in yourself, because
mhm,
this is really possible. And there's going to be dark days. Trust me, there's days when I thought, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? You know what I
mhm,
mean? But just don't give up on it,
mhm,
because the harder you try, the more you learn. Um, and also routine. Routine is a massive thing I don't think a lot of people talk about. You gotta
mhm,
have to have a routine around your day and how you organize it, because I treat this now as my full-time job. Right.
yeah,
So I know I get up X amount in the morning, I do this and this during the day, I go to bed at this time, and you just have to routine yourself, because
mhm,
it's very easy to, you know, go on the wayside, especially if you're working from home.
yeah. I
It's
agree.
just constantly stay focused and productive is a big thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And that's
No,
one thing that we talked about in the beginning, I remember.
yeah, and I still struggle having a schedule. I'm more I basically don't sleep every other day.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah, no, honestly, it's like if you just structure yourself, and you have to have off days. I mean, Sundays is for me is family day.
yeah,
Like Sundays for me, I spend with my family. We do things and stuff like this. So I know from Monday to Saturday, I'm 100% focused on what I need to do here, putting the things in place that works. And then Sunday, I know I can comfortably switch off and literally just spend quality time with my family.
yeah,
So that's really important, just to have a structure around the business.
yeah. Awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's it, then I really enjoyed this chat, and I hope that anyone watching this far in will have gained a lot of information that they can use.
Yeah,
Because I agree.
yeah,
The number one thing you do is just believe and just don't quit.
absolutely.
If you find a process to follow, it truly doesn't have to be anyone specific. Just a process you see that's working and it can
Mhm.
be replicated again and again. Just follow that until you get comfortable with it, and eventually you'll hit that product that just works for you.
Oh, yes.
Now, once you hit the first product, it's like everything else gets easier. Like finding the next product gets like 3 times easier, and
Hmm.
I don't know why. It just always happens that way.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think this was great. So
awesome.
um, I think we'll leave it here, and then we'll see if we can answer any questions in the comments below at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. No
Uh,
problem at all. It's
all
great
right,
talking to you.
man. Yeah, too, man. Take care.
Take care. Cheers. Bye.
All right, bye.
Alright, so I hope you really enjoyed the interview with Martin. I hope you learned a lot. As for the giveaway, 10 people will be chosen at random. All you have to do is click the first link in the description or the pinned link in the comment section below. Take care, and I hope to work with you soon.